Okay, so picture this for a second. Imagine you're on the absolute best playground in the world. The sun is shining, the swings are open, and everyone is just having a totally great time. But wait, what if someone decides they're going to take up the slide all day and won't let anyone else have a turn? Kind of frustrating, right? Well, have you ever wondered who exactly makes sure you're treated fairly? Like, who wrote the rules that say everybody gets a turn? Today, we are going to look at the rules of fairness as a giant, real-world mystery that we actually get to solve together. Welcome to today's Explainer Journey. I'm so pumped to be your guide today as we explore something that's super important. We're basically going to become history detectives, traveling through time to figure out how people all over the world learn to share the planet and treat each other with respect. So grab your invisible detective hats, because this is the Great Rights Adventure. Before we really jump into the mystery, let's give a quick shout out to the creator of today's journey. This awesome explainer was produced by Waqas Ahmed Shah. He's an incredible educator and AI agents and automation builder for educators, traders, and startups, based right out of Karachi, Pakistan. He built this adventure specifically for you to learn and explore. All right, let's dive right in. Here's the treasure map for our journey today. First up, we'll uncover a very old idea. Then, we're going to learn about the United Nations Charter. After that, we'll discover the values of human rights, followed by a special secret called Rights of the Child. And finally, we'll look at growing up and responsibilities. Let's get moving. Our first stop is Section 1, a very old idea, the 4,000-year mystery. You might think that rules about fairness were just invented yesterday by your teachers or parents, right? But the idea of rights, which, by the way, is just a fancy word for the things you're allowed to be, do, or have simply because you're human, is almost 4,000 years old. Literally 4 millennia ago, people used something called the Babylonian Code. Then, through ancient and holy centuries, people learned about duties, rights, and responsibilities from these amazing old texts. We're talking about the Vedas, the wise sayings of Confucius, the Bible, and the Holy Quran. These were basically humanity's very first rulebooks for how to be fair and kind to one another. Over thousands of years, these ancient ideas evolved, and now, in modern decades, democratic countries all over the world give these rights to their citizens. It's kind of like a giant relay race of fairness passed down through history. Let's move to our next stop and see how this all builds into our world today. Section 2, the United Nations Charter, the Modern Promise. With so many different countries in the world today, how do they all possibly agree on what's fair? Well, the big secret is that they use a giant club rulebook. It's called the Charter of Human Rights. The United Nations is like this massive team made up of almost all the countries on Earth. And they have this special agreement, the Charter, that all member states have to sign. When a country signs it, they are making a giant promise to protect people and make sure absolutely everyone is treated fairly. It's the ultimate modern promise. And that brings us right to Section 3, Values of Human Rights, or, as I really like to call them, the Super 7. Now that we know about this giant rulebook, what exactly is inside it? What are these modern human rights actually made of?
Here are the Super 7. First up, justice. This is just like fairness on the playground. If someone breaks the rules, justice makes sure things are made right. Next is prosperity, which just means having what you need to grow and do well. Then, dignity, treating everyone as special and valuable. Now, another absolutely crucial one is the rule of law. That simply means the rules of the game apply to absolutely everyone. Seriously, even the biggest kid or the most powerful leader. No one is above the rules. We also have hope for a good future, peace so we can live without fear, and freedom to be who we are.
I actually want you to pause right here and think about these 7 values for a second. Count them in your head. Do you actually enjoy these rights in your daily life? Do you feel safe, free, and treated with dignity at school and at home? Think about it. Would you add anything to this list? This is a really great thing to talk about with your friends and teachers. Let's move right into Section 4, Rights of the Child, also known as your invisible shield. We've talked a lot about the whole world, but let's shift the focus directly to you. How do these giant worldwide rules apply specifically to young learners? Okay, here's a huge question to test your detective skills. As kids, do you have the exact same rights as adults, or do you have something special? Take a guess. Do you just sort of borrow adult rights, or is there a secret set of rules just for you? Drum roll, please. You actually have the exact same basic human rights, plus a whole set of special rules just for you.
Yep, it's called the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Almost every single country in the entire world has agreed to these rights. Because you're still growing and learning, the world decided you need extra protection from harm and special care to make sure you get what is best for you. It really is like an invisible shield protecting you everywhere you go.
So, how does this invisible shield actually work? Well, all your rights are completely connected to each other, and they're all equally important. Think of it kind of like slices of a delicious pie. You have protection from harm, getting your critical life needs met, like food and school, having adults always think about your best interests, equality, and shared connections. You can't just have one slice, right? You need the whole circle for a good, safe, and happy life. Sometimes adults have to look at all these slices together to figure out what is truly best for a child in any situation. Which brings us to our final stop on the map. Section 5, Growing Up and Responsibilities, the final challenge. So you have this amazing invisible shield of rights right now. But what exactly happens to these rights as you get older, taller, and smarter?
So here's the crucial takeaway. As you grow, you have more responsibility to make choices. Having rights is totally awesome, but it's a two-way street. Growing up means you get to exercise your rights more and more. You get to make bigger decisions. But, with that freedom comes the responsibility to make good choices. You have to respect the rights of the kids around you. If you want people to treat you with dignity and fairness, you have to treat them the exact same way. And that is the final challenge of growing up.
Wow, what an invention! Let's do a rapid-fire recap of the amazing things you discovered in today's explainer journey. 1. We learned that rights are a 4,000-year-old idea starting from ancient rulebooks. 2. The modern world uses the UN Charter to promise fairness. 3. We unlocked the Super 7 rights, like justice and rule of law. 4. You discovered your invisible shield, the special UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. And 5. We learned that as you grow, your responsibilities grow too.
So, my fellow history detectives, I'll leave you with this final, massive question. How will you use your rights and responsibilities today? When you go out to the playground or sit in class, how are you going to make sure you're being fair and kind? Really think about it. If you had fun solving this mystery with me, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more awesome learning adventures. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and I'll see you on the next journey.